And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, with the world famous Ashland Fly Shop video fishing report for the middle of April 2021. Trout season is imminent. Winter steelhead season is behind us. What is going on out there? You want to know. I sort of know. I know that you're on the edge of your seat as I am for this information. So let's get right to it. All right, let's talk about the Rogue. We are wrapping up winter steelhead season, middle of April. You know, the only way you could really justify fishing for steelhead out there now pretty much would be like right up around the hatchery, you know, where those fish are kind of coming in. Any fish that are in the system, there may be a fair amount of main stem spawning this year because of the lack of rain that we've had. Tributaries are going to be pretty closed up, so you really want to avoid fishing for steelhead now. Let's really just let those fish do their thing at this point. You know, that's what we really want to do, and transition out of that into some trout fishing. So let's talk a little bit about that. So the next big thing to happen for the Upper Rogue is going to be the salmon fly hatch. We are super pumped for that. We look forward to it every year. It's going to be a blast. It's always a blast. Last year was kind of unique. We had those flies out a little bit early, which is one of the first times I've seen that where they were really out kind of early. It kind of affected the hatch. So we'll keep an eye on that for you. But the Upper River opens on the 22nd of May for trout. So you can't fish salmon flies before that on the Upper River. You can't fish for trout before that on the Upper River. It's closed for trout now. But as soon as that thing opens, it's game on with the salmon fly hatch, and it should be quite good. And it can be pretty much the best time for that week following the opener, and then it sort of changes a bit. And I'll probably do here in the next video report I do, probably do a little synopsis, a little roundup of the salmon fly hatch and what we expect. I usually do one of those a year, just kind of give you a closer look at sort of the cycle of it. It's pretty interesting, but just get prepared, take some days off, call in your sick days between the Upper Rogue and the Holy Water. It's a really awesome time to be fishing up there, and so we are looking forward to that salmon fly hatch on the Upper Rogue. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the Holy Water. It's been pretty challenging over the past couple months, month and a half, which is pretty common, you know, as we come out of the winter and things start to shift a little bit. There's probably some spawning activity up there now with fish on the reds, so you do want to watch out for that. As soon as those fish come off the reds, though, it should open up a bit and get pretty good. We will see the flows bump a little bit for various reasons. Could be because matching inflow outflow as we start to get a fair amount of snow melt coming down off of the mountain there. Also could be the beginnings of pushing some water out for spring Chinook. So we should see the flows come up slightly, and we'll kind of see what happens there. But boy, it's looking like we're going to have pretty reasonable flows for the salmon fly hatch, which is a lot of fun. So that'll be cool. Holy Water in general, you know, you can fish that hatch early up there. There's typically a handful of fish that are looking for those flies on the early end, and that would be like the second week of May. You're not going to get a lot of activity, but you could get a handful of fish looking at them. So it's worth poking around up there. Then before that, you know, kind of same tactics. You might see a caddis hatch up there. You know, hopefully that'll get some fish moving around. Hasn't really been the case for the last few years, but you could see some caddis up there. But until we see those big bugs, swinging stoneflies could be kind of interesting. Trout spay rods, fishing, could be some mayfly hatches, and then just your typical kind of nymphing, little midge pupa, little tungsten zebra midges, things like that is going to be a pretty good bet. So mix it up a bit. We should see that fishery sort of evolve a bit and start to pick up in the next couple weeks. Trout, 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 trout is what's on deck for the next month. So this part of April is still a pretty transitional month, although we have just had like, the weather's been too good. It's been really just stunning, clear, beautiful days. So it's going to accelerate that pace of getting into, you know, early summer, late spring. So, but this is a real transition month. We're going to see pretty much all the lakes kind of get iced off here in the next couple weeks. And that is really going to be game on. So we have Hyatt, Howard Prairie, even though they're low, there's probably going to be some pretty darn good fishing there for a few weeks. Klamath Lake, we're starting to see people kind of snoop around out there. Diamond's still got a little ways to go, I'm sure, but some of those lower mid-elevation lakes are really going to come online in a big way and be really good fishing. I really expect that to happen. You know the drill there, all your intermediate sinking lines, your little leeches, the fish are going to be hungry, they're going to be aggressive. Klamath Lake, you can get away with fishing a little bit bigger stuff, but they respond really well out there to intermediate lines, small swimming leeches, nymphs, and then suspended stuff under an indicator. Kind of Stillwater tactics there with balanced leashes and midges and things like that can be really good. So get your Stillwater stuff together. It's really time to get after that. If you want to give us a shout, we can talk to you a little bit about that stuff and where to go. But that'll be kind of those mid-elevation lakes will be kind of quick, but they'll be really good while they're on. Northern California, definitely a hot spot. We pay close attention to that this time of year. It can be the best fishing of the year for the next couple months. We've had a couple rivers open up there that have traditionally had the typical end of April opener. So Hat Creek, as I've mentioned before, is open, as well as the McCloud. We did have a pretty good report from the lower McCloud in the last week, so I wasn't sure how that might be on the early end, but it sounds like it's worth doing. So that's kind of cool. We can kind of spread out that the amount of people that are in there. That would be awesome. I'm sure a lot of people are still going to be there on the opening day and stuff and after, but going a little bit early, that can be good too. Obviously, just about a week and a half now, but so McCloud, very good. Upper Sacramento looks like it's fishing good. So what'll happen is they'll get a little shot of snow melt. I think there's a fair amount of snow on Shasta, so it could be fairly noticeable. And what we see there is the flows will come up, and then when they come back down, they finally kind of really settle out. We'll really see those kind of summer, fish kind of fall into their summer lies and things like that. They're more in riffles and runs and things like that. They'll come out of the pools. So you really want to watch for that kind of snow melt activity, that runoff activity. Kind of want to avoid fishing them, but it could be pretty good this year because it might not be that much. So it could be some good streamer fishing to be done during that time. We'll just keep an eye on that and see what we think, but that should be happening pretty quick because we're going to see some warm temperatures, I think, even later in this week. So Northern California, always a great bet this time of year. You'll definitely see us down there fishing, and good place to be. Definitely want to give a shout out to Sugar Creek Ranch, a great little pay-to-play fishery that we book in cooperation with the fly shop down there, and it's been some good fishing down there. So we'll be heading down there probably in the next week or couple weeks to get in on the action. But if you wanna head down there and do a little fishing, shake off the cobwebs, give us a call. I'll be happy to put you in there. I think it's $155 a day for a trespass fee walk-in. It can be some really fun fishing, so happy to work with you on that if you want to give us a shout. We're going to call that a wrap right there. So really transitioning into trout, be aware of that. Stillwater stuff's going to be really good, and the beginnings of good kind of early season stream fishing. So now's the time to kind of get it together, make plans, and start to put those plans in motion. Give us a call. We're happy to help. We can get into more detail. Give us a week and a half or so. Next newsletter, we'll start to really get more specific as we get more feedback on some of these rivers and what our customers are doing and seeing out there. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you really dig it and you're enjoying what you're seeing here, subscribe to YouTube, get on our newsletter list. We pump this stuff out as much as we can. We appreciate it. Appreciate you tuning in, and give us a call, of course, if there's anything that we can help you with, and have a great day.